According to Section 1 of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, rape is defined as a person commits the offense of rape if he or she intentionally penetrates the vajayjay, anus, or mouth of another person with any other part of his or her body or anything else. It goes further to say, and I read, the other person does not consent to the penetration, or the consent is obtained by force or means of threat or intimidation of any kind, or by fear of harm, or by means of false and fraudulent representation as to the nature of the act, or the use of any substance or addictive capable of taking away the will of such person, or in the case of a married person, by impersonating his or her spouse. About some weeks ago, I made a post on what being a potential rapist is, and of course, I was addressing the men, and a lot of y'all took that post out of context and almost had my head on the spike to the point I had a health breakdown. Anyways, I'm here now. As you can see, I'm fine, and I'm here to give you the part 2 of the post where we are going to be focusing on what if she consented to them having sex on the spot. And so let's have this conversation. According to the section of the VAPA law I just read out to you, it's made it clear that when consent is obtained through a means of force, intimidation, threats, or the victim in question is afraid to say no to you, it is simply rape, as the consent in question is unnatural. I'll give you an example. Dayo invites Anita to his house, whom he's neither dating nor has had any sexual conversations with whatsoever. Their affiliation is purely platonic. Now, Anita, on the other hand, is quite bored at home, and so when Dayo call comes in, she's very excited to dump her boredom and go enjoy her friend's company. Now, note that Anita is going to Dayo's house for the first time, so she doesn't know her way both to and fro. He literally has to guide her. When she gets there, the first danger strikes. A dog in the compound tries to attack her, but she was lucky to have had Dayo step in immediately and save her, and then they went in. Now, by the time everyone has become calm, they begin to talk about a lot of shared interests like books, like movies, and all those things that people used to talk about when you are trying to clear the atmosphere for yourself. Dayo now realizes that him and Anita share same interest in, genre of movies, and so he suggests that they see one together. Now, in the process of seeing and enjoying this film, Dayo takes Anita's hands and begins to massage. Anita finds this event uncomfortable, and she tries to stop him, but Dayo tells her not to worry, that nothing is going to happen. It's just a friendly massage. Few minutes later, the friendly masseuse is extending his hands to her thigh, her neck, and so forth. Despite her saying no, he keeps convincing her she's going to enjoy it. And so by the time he stroked her in all the places that are seemingly her weak spots, Anita eventually consents. Why didn't she leave the very first time she said no? Now, if you followed to this part, you would have already understood how intimidation and fear, as the law puts it, was used by Dayo to manipulate the situation to his favor. If you haven't, follow me. Anita was in his space, a location she's unfamiliar with. Hence, she's dependent on him to return home safe. A dog had nearly attacked her upon arrival. How was she going to bypass this if she tries to leave? The lesser evil. She might be scared of further embarrassing him or herself. She doesn't even know how he would react if she had continued to say no. Does it get worse? Does he continue to force himself on her? Does he even become more violent? So that yes Dayo got, it's not a real yes. It's consent given out of fear and intimidation, which the law already calls rape. The bottom line of all of this is, if you've ever premeditated sex without any prior agreement with the woman in question, and you pressure her until she willingly gives in to you, darling, you are not a smooth talker. It actually does mean that you're a potential rapist, if not one already. Regardless, use this information to do better.